Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. This is Connie coming on today to share with you a project share for some fall treat containers. I will also be doing a process video at the end showing you how I put them together. So you'll see the last one. I've got 4 of them to share with you though here. So I'm just going to jump in. Forgot to grab a ruler. I do apologize. And it's been a little bit since I made these, so I have to kind of refresh my memory. Okay, so the treat holder itself is 3.5 inches wide. It is about 2 inches, let's see, 1.5 inches deep, excuse me. And then it's 5.25 inches high. And they're all decorated a little bit differently. I'll give you that. And then there's a bottom platform, and it is 4.5 by, let's see, 2 3/4 approximately. And I apologize, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to sneeze here. I'm so sorry. And then I do have it lifted up on little pegs. They're just these little wooden pegs. There are 2 sizes. I'm using the smaller ones. I just raided my father's stash of stuff that he's passed away, so we're using up some of his stuff from his wood shop, so that's why I'm using smaller ones. But there are some that are about 1/2 inch in diameter too, so, or maybe a little bigger. Anyway, so this first one, these are all using Marjorie Ann Designs files, gingerbread theme, if you can't see that, obviously. Just trying to make sure you can get that in focus or in file or frame here. Anyway, I just added this little pumpkin vine. This is actually from Little Scraps of Heaven Designs. I don't remember the file. It might be To the Pumpkin Patch. I'm not positive. And then I did add this little fence border all along, and it is from Cottage Cuts Dies. That's that one. And then the tops are all different. This was cut with a Lawn Fawn stitched heel die, and then the paper, and I just tried to use coordinating paper. And then my stamped images are either from Jaded Blossom or May Made It Stamps, I think, I'm not positive. One set was gifted to me when I had purchased, so I don't remember exactly. I did a lot of foam tape on these. This first layer of the oval set, those are from my Spellbinders oval die set. That's the green part, so that's one layer. It's popped up, and then this next layer is popped up, and then this little gingerbread, excuse me, I can't think today again, it's popped up. So lots of pieces, and I just wanted a lot of dimension on these, and these are nice size. They'll hold a lot. I'm going to put a cocoa bag and some other treats. These are actually for my sister, so if you're wondering, yeah, I unfortunately don't have any co-workers to share with right now. So this is my second one. Did the carameled apple, and again popped up the first layer. The orange layer is also popped up, and then the gingerbread is. And then this border, lace border at the top, is also Marjorie Ann Designs die cut or die. And then the border again is that stitched heel die. Just put it on the bottom, and it kind of matches somewhat all the way around as it goes. So that's the second one. And then 2 more quick. I really like this one. This guy's so cute. Be for hot cocoa or anything. I'm not a pumpkin lover at all, so pumpkin anything is not my thing, sorry. I'm going to show you the back first. I just kept this simple. I just used a border punch for my top border and kept the bottom straight. And this back die is an AliExpress die, so it's just green layer. And then I just have 2 ovals layered here, and that came actually with the back die. That was another oval, stitched oval set that was in there. And again, this tan colored layer is popped up, and then the green layer is popped up. This set of oval dies is popped up here, this oval layer, and then so is my gingerbread here. And I didn't have my little buttons at the time, so I just put little Nouveau drops for the these are liquid pearls for the buttons instead, because I didn't want to cut them that small. But so that's that set, or that one. One more and I'll get on to showing you how to put them together. Okay, so I think this is probably the first one I put together. I kept this is actually a border sticker from the paper set. Put the drippy goo. I think it's a border punch from Martha Stewart. Had it forever. This one, again, I used the Nestabilities oval set. So the brown, and then the plaid paper is right on top of the brown, so that's one layer, and then there's another layer for this oval, and I put that through an embossing folder, and then this is popped up. So a lot of dimension on these actually, but I'm gonna quick get these out of the way so we can get on to the others. And before I forget, I want to say welcome to all my new subscribers, and thank you for all my continued subscribers for all your support. Guys, I appreciate everybody, and I'm trying really hard to get some videos going here. I apologize, it's been kind of crazy lately, but hopefully I can get back into schedule here. Okay, so first of all, to get started with this, I am using a piece of paper that is 11 long, and it is, I'm just for 7 high, and I have 11 by 7, but I never trust my measurements. Please don't think that. I am using, I believe this is from it's either 110 or 120 pound cardstock. It's Nina brand cardstock, so it's quite heavy. If you have like watercolor paper or mixed media paper that's heavier, like 140 pound, that would be also perfect. But you want something fairly heavy because it is quite a sturdy box. And then I added several layers, but that's beside the point. Okay, so on your long side, you want to put that up on the scoreboard, and let's see if I, whoa, excuse me, have mine handy. But you're going to score, let's see if it's in here. Okay, so you're going to score at 1/2 inch. I have this backwards, so sorry. So again, we have the long piece 11 at the top, so score at 1/2 inch and 2 1/4 inches, and then you're going to score at 5 3/4 inches, and then you want to score at 7 1/2. I can't do this without sitting it down. I don't know if it'll work that way. So 1/2, 2 1/4, 5 3/4, 7 1/2, and you'll see it when you get it. Then I turn it this way. I rotate it one time, and then we're going to score at 1 1/4 all the way down. Okay. So the 7 inch pieces at the top, or 7 inch side, scored at 1 and, if I said 1 1/4, I'm sorry, it's 1 3/4, 1 3/4 inches. Should be the same as the sides here. I am so sorry, I misspoke on that. So it's 1 3/4 inches. Okay, get that out of the way for a minute. I don't want it to go crashing again, I apologize. Before I burnish my pieces, I am going to cut away. So on the 11 inch side, we've got this 1/2 inch side over on the left. we're going to cut up to the first score mark, which is the 1 3/4, and this is very difficult for me to see, so let me see if these bright lights, I apologize if I'm not right in frame, I'll show you in just a moment here. So on the 1/2 inch score line, I'm just cutting up to the very first mark here. So we're going to cut this little tab out, and I cut it at a diagonal here. Okay. So again, we have the 1/2 inch score here. Now on the bottom, where you've got the 1 3/4 inch score line up here on this long side, on each of these fold lines on the where you've scored it, you're going to cut up again to just the first score line. There's only one score line, but you're going to cut up on the short side so you get these little squares and rectangles. I'm just bending it the slightest bit so I can see where my marks are to cut. Okay, and then we've got one more here. Sorry, it's white on white, probably isn't the smartest either, but I'll show you in a moment here. So we've got this, and we've got all of our tags. On these two square tabs, in middle one here, I'm just going to angle up. It just makes my box go together a little easier. Just mitering my corner, or my folds here. Okay. Also on this 1/2 inch piece here, just gonna I'm just gonna, from the 1/2 inch score to the outside, I'm just gonna cut a little bit off there. And I think I just missed it just by a hair, so get that out of the way. Okay, and then, excuse my reach, I am looking for my, oh, I apologize, everything is falling. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to burnish all of my score marks. I do this both sides, and do that because I want a nice crisp fold. And I have seen this on several different YouTube channels. I don't remember where I got the exact dimensions, but I've seen this multiple times, so I can't give anyone specifically credit. I apologize. So this is not new. I should have prefaced that at the beginning. I apologize. Just making sure I get nice folds, but I also don't want to bump the camera too bad here, so okay. And I'm going to come back and do my other side, and I do have to erase some of my markings that are on this side. I see here I got a little bit too close, so I apologize if this is shaking too much. So sorry. To do that before I put my mats down, or I'll never get it off. Okay, again, now opening up some of my 1/2 inch pieces over here. This is what I didn't do, excuse me. I knew there was something wrong with this. I flip it the other side too and score it, and it gives it, you'd think it might weaken the paper. It does not. is amazing. I think I did that. Nope. It really makes it very strong, but yet very crisp. So, okay, now we're good. Sorry for that delay there. Okay. So on this one, the front of your box is actually going to be right here. I'll put front. Sorry, this is still not acceptable. It's not quite cleaned off good. That's better. And I've got everything kind of matted and stuff here, so it should go a little faster than the gluing, obviously. But what you need, what I did, is I measured these and then I cut my pieces 1/8 of an inch smaller down, and I've got them first cardstock or just solid cardstock and then the pattern paper. You don't have to do both, completely up to you. But the first one will be 1 3/4 by, should be 5 1/4. Yep, 5 1/4. And then so will this one be 1 3/4, 5 1/4. And then this one is 3 1/2 wide, 5 1/4 high. Also 3 1/2 wide, 5 1/4 high. So just to give you an example there. And I've used again a border punch, and then I just used a scissors, decorative scissors. I don't have a lot of border punches and stuff, so that makes it so much easier. And I'm using just some beacon glue. Sorry, I can't reach the garbage can very well. And so I'm just gonna pop these on. I'm a little bit out of frame, I apologize. I'm just gluing these down. Trying to get them centered as best I can. I'm going to pop the rest on and then I will burnish them down really well. I'll come back to the base in a moment or two here. I do put my panels on before I assemble my box. Just makes it so much easier, at least for me, to work with if I do it that way. So completely up to you. If you would choose to assemble the box and put the panels on later, that's fine. I don't put my embellishments on and stuff until it's all put together though. So just to give you a heads up on that, all I do is the actual layering pieces here. And I hope everybody's having a good day and is healthy. So far everything has been normal here. We'll just leave it at that, which is not all bad. I do apply quite a bit of glue. I probably wouldn't have to. It's not that, it just sometimes I get a little bit carried away with the glue. Get nice. Oh, and that's upside down. Did you notice that? Probably want to put them all going the right direction. Yeah, just a suggestion, right? Okay, and a quick burnish them a little bit here. Sorry, didn't mean to get out of frame there. If you have any questions, please be sure and leave a comment. I will get back to you. Okay, so got all my pieces on. I'm going to go ahead and put it together. I tend to put my glue here first. And I don't know if there's a way you want to do it, but I just flip it over, lay it flat, and then I bring these two pieces together and they come right together, top and bottom. It's awesome. You don't have to worry too much. And I just like to make sure it's burnished good. Okay, so with that little 1/2-inch seam, I want that to be at the back. I don't know if you can see that, but it's right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, again, my seam is right over here. Okay, so just flap this to the back. I'm going to put these two in. I do put glue on these first. You don't necessarily have to if you're using double-sided tape. You can do that. I just like to give it all the stability I can. Shucks, I don't have my, I'm gonna use my T-ruler. I usually use my grid and my mats on the floor with a scrapbook lay on it, but I want to keep this as straight as possible. I'm folding my bottom flap, or my back flap, excuse me, in first. So I'm just going to put this on my T-ruler and try to do this one-handed, right? Okay, and see what I'm trying to do is keep these sides straight here, everything. I'm going to flip this over a moment, making sure my bottoms are straight, and trying to think what I have here. I'm just using a ruler, but what I want to do is just kind of go down and just burnish the, oops, I'm so sorry, burnish those bottoms a little bit. I keep bumping that camera. I apologize. That's not going to work. It's way too long. I will find my bone folder. Better yet, I have the handle for my Cricut scraper. That will work. Okay. Now I'm going to come back, and this is the front. I'm going to fold that in and I glue it down. And I don't know if you're aware, but when you're adding glue and then the extra glue, the layers and everything, it gives your box extra stability. So it is a nice thing to do, to add those extra layers of glue and such, or tape, whichever. Okay, now I'm just giving that glue a moment to dry and burnish it well. Okay, then what I have also done is, I'm going to do this now because we're going to work on some other stuff. I take a couple of glue bottles or something that fits in there. I just set it off to the side. I put it inside and it'll kind of hold it down good too. Now we're going to come in. This is the base that it sits on. Again, this is 4.5 inches long, 2 3/4 inch high. What I have done for this, there are 2 ways you can do this. I have cut 3 pieces the same size of my heavy cardstock that I was using, put them together, then I did my matting of the 2 layers. What you can also do is, if you want the back to be, you know, the same color as the top layer, which doesn't matter, but you can use like a thin layer of chipboard, like a cardboard, or not a cardboard box, a box that you get like, say, chips or crackers in, or packaged food. It will have that thin layer of chipboard. You can use that, and then you don't need 2 layers. I have done that too. One of them I did, and I think I did, I can't remember, something I had, but it works fine. So just want to let you know that if you don't have, you know, the heavier cardstock, you don't want to use it all, just take a piece of thinner chipboard. That's fine. So anyway, what we're going to do, I'm going to bring my T-ruler back in here so I can get this somewhat straight before I put the feet or anything on, because that's my last thing I do. I'm going to come in and put my box on. I apply a good layer of glue, or, you know, if you're using tape, I would suggest using something very heavy. A lot of people may tend to pick this up here And if it's got too much weight in it for your treats and stuff, it won't always adhere well. You can also use, I don't know if you're aware of this, tape, like double-sided tape and liquid adhesive, and you get a wonderful hold. Also gives you some wiggle room, so just to give you an idea. I'm just kind of eyeballing this. It's going to be at a 1/2 inch in from each side, and then also about the same on the front and back. So that looks pretty good to me. And again, normally I would let this dry while I'm working on my other pieces. Let's set that away a moment. I would come in and I would, get all my pieces ready if I didn't have my paper pieces done or whatnot. But what I've done here for this particular one, I've got a die, a doily, and then I've got, and that's popped up on foam tape, and then I have this circle to go on top. This is popped up. It's got 3 layers. Let's see, 1, 2. It's got 4 layers here to accommodate for 2 layers here, 1 layer here. It needed the extra oomph. So just to kind of support that pumpkin, that's what I'm doing here. So before I put all that on, I'm going to layer these together, and I use some different glue here. So I can leave that in the box a minute, let it really set well. I'm sorry if my tutorials get too long. I try to be thorough so you guys can hopefully follow my directions, and sometimes I get kind of long-winded. Like, you probably know this stuff, but I've had a lot of questions on different groups and stuff I'm in, and I didn't realize they didn't know, and I feel kind of bad I didn't answer better. So, and also with that being said, depending upon how a few things turn out, I may be starting a card tutorial. I'm not sure, card making tutorial, so we'll see. And of course I set my oval set off to the back, forgot it, but this is actually going to be behind this. It's just gives a little bit more height and dimension. So I'm gonna put this on and kind of figuring out where I want to glue, because I don't need it everywhere. And these when I layer like this, I don't add that extra 2nd or 3rd layer of foam tape on some of the outer pieces. It's got enough stability, it's fine. It's just that pumpkin does not, and I didn't want it to be getting smashed or anything. So okay, get these out, and I'm gonna go ahead and now I have to be careful. I have this figured out, get this centered, but I cut my sentiment a little bit too large, so that's got to go on first, and I think it hangs off the side a little bit, so I'm not going to I only put glue to about here over, so, but I know it goes right down here. Yeah, I'm just going to have it off just a little. And then it actually will go between this green layer and then the oval set here. So it'll fall in there. So I can get my glue on. I'm going to put my glue on my oval piece here. Maybe. That's the one thing I don't like, waiting for liquid glue. And every time I flip it on its side, or I've considered getting the glue holders, but I'm afraid I will have glue everywhere because that's just the nature of this glue. So I go with it. Okay, now when I'm trying to get this centered and also tucked in for the sentiment piece. If you wonder what in the world I'm trying to do here, I put my hand inside and kind of press it down and get it in good. This has foam tape on it, so I can just take that off. I can carefully get it off the piece with all the layers. Be good. These little paper pieces were so fun to put together. I love gingerbread anyway. I think that's pretty obviously I do them a lot at Christmas. So I was thrilled to see fall ones. Don't know what my sister's co-workers will think, but they're used to getting unique things. You know, they never know what I might come up with. And I haven't really done too much. I try to think if I did something around 4th of July. I cannot remember, or was it earlier, but it's been way too long, and they are considered, or had been considered, like frontline workers during this pandemic. So I just feel like they deserve much more than they probably get. So I wanted to treat them. Okay, I'm gonna try to get this on somewhat centered. I did draw the lines on the pumpkin, the tops, if you're wondering. It was not anything that was part of the design. I'm not good at drawing, so no comments on that, please. Okay, that's it. That's my final one. Very easy to put together. We do need to put the little feet on. So I just flip it over here. And this probably is the hardest part. My fingers holding these little wooden pegs. Oh, and I was going to quick show you, I made little tags for them also to tie on the bags. I do the best I can at centering these. They're not exact because I'm using the little ones and because I want to support the middle for whatever weight I put in there. I do put one in the middle. That's completely up to you. I don't know that it's necessary, but I'd rather err on the side of caution, to be honest. Sorry if you hear noise in the background. It's just the construction gentleman working downstairs. It echoes just a little bit. Well, I'm not sure exactly where they're at working. I just know that's what I hear. Hopefully you can't hear that incessant beeping, though. That gets to be a bit much. All right, there are my feet, so to speak. And it just, I think it adds a lot that you pop it up. These are honestly so easy. I hope you give them a try. If you do, please put a photo on my Facebook page, if you will. That'd be great. I'd love to see what you guys are working on. And then I'm going to quick show you the little tags I made. These are some lawn fawn tags, I believe. And then there's tag and stamps. There's like 4 or 5 of these little different tags. And then there's a stamp set that fits in them. A lot of fun. So I just put some baker's twine on them. They're all either brown or orange, and then all the same style. And then I'll just put some baker's twine in them, tie it on the bag when I put everything together. And there you have it. So thank you all for joining me. I want to say I hope you have a wonderful day. If you haven't subscribed already, I'd love if you would consider doing that. Otherwise,